So we want to bring that 25 over 100 to its lowest terms. So we need to find something that will go into both of these numbers evenly, right? So we can either go with 5, right, if we wanted to keep it simple and go with how many 5s go into 25, right? It would be 5, right? So for the shits and giggles, we'll say 5. Okay. So, no, sorry. Let me just keep it. That's actually more difficult. Let's just keep it normal. 25 goes into itself 1 time. 25 goes into 100 how many times? Think money.
That's 4.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Do you guys get that? I need something that will go into both of these numbers evenly. I don't want remainders, right? Not like, oh, it goes in 2 point something times. It has to go in evenly, right? Let's try again just for simplicity. We'll go with the 0.5. Now we can either say over 10, or we can add in that extra 0 for place holding and then now call it over 100. Okay, so now 50 over 100. Again, something that will go into both of these, well, 50. 50 goes into itself again 1 time. 50 goes into 100 2 times. That's how we get the 1/2. Those ones are pretty simple, yes? Okay. How about if we went with, let me try this one. How about we do, let's go 0.04. Okay, well, it's already in the hundredths column. So, again, it's written like 4 over 100. Well, that's an even number, that's an even number. So that can come down a little farther. Or does anybody want to take a stab at what that one would end up be as a fraction if I brought it down to the lowest terms? Oh.
2 by 50.
What did you say it was?
2 by 50.
2 by 50? 2 over 50 is what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. Hang on to that thought. Amari, you've got it. 1 over 25. And here's why. Okay, Edward, is think about this. 4. 4 goes into itself 1 time, right? But 4 also goes into 100. Remember, think money. $1.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, exactly. So now you see that one, eh? 4 goes into itself 1 time, nice and evenly. And 4 goes nice and evenly into 100 25 times. Does that make sense?
Even, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Ask me what you were going to say, love.
No, it's okay actually. It's okay.
Okay. So do you get that? So it has to, choosing a number that will go into both of these evenly. If it only goes into one and not the other, then it doesn't work. Right? Let's try. How about this one? Just draw a little line here. I want you guys to try this one here. Put 0.39, put that into a fraction. Oh, hang on a sec. I think that's Jersey. There we go. Right back over here. So work on putting that one into a fraction, and I want you to put let's try, I don't know, let's try this one. I'm just pulling some random ones out of my book here. 0.137. Okay. All right, so we're back recording. Okay, so 0.39. So remember, right off the hop, to make it simpler, we can call this, right, 39 over tenths hundredths. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, is that as low as it will go? Is there any other numbers that will go into 39 and 100 evenly? That might be. Did anybody else find a number that would go into 39 and 100? Because if not, I think that one might.
39 and 100.
You had 9? Oh, maybe I wasn't paying attention to that.
39 and 100 for it actually.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything goes into them both evenly.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's as low as that one goes. Would everybody else agree? Or did anybody find something different?
No, that's what I got too.
Okay, perfect. Me too. So this is in its lowest. So I'm going to write that. Lowest term. So we can't get any lower than 39 100ths. Now, honestly, guys, as we're doing this in its kind of rude or, kind of crude sort of method. Now, we wouldn't do this if we needed to convert it to something we can read on a tape measure, but we're going to get to that in a minute. So that's in its lowest terms. This one here, again, guys, I didn't know what the answers were to these, so I'm winging it too. So I'm going to write this one, 1, 2, 3, so 137 over 1, 2, 3, so over thousandths. Did anybody come up with something that would go into both of those? Or did I choose two that don't go lower?
Carrie,
Yeah, hon.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think I remember there's some type of method where you keep adding zeros until it becomes divisible.
Something that you can end up using?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't remember that. I mean, if you can, please show us.
No, I have to look it up because I can't. I'm trying to remember. There was some way of where you add zeros to the numerator and the denominator until it becomes something that is divisible.
I'd have to check that one out myself.
Okay.
Because, yeah, even as I'm looking in my book here, so 4 and 9. Yeah, even in the answer key, I had to go to the answer key in the back because I'm an idiot and chose 2. That, according to the answer key, they have it as lowest term and lowest term. So I do apologize. I did choose 2 that kind of sucked ass. Let me try one a little different. Yeah, that was silly of me. All right. Let me try. But yeah, if you ever can find that one out, Lanessa, please. I'd love to know what that one's all about. Because, you know, you tend to forget some of the stuff that you learn. Especially when you're younger, right? Okay, let's try. I'll try this one because I know this one's can go a little lower. So my bad. Way to go, Carrie. And I recorded that too. All right, let's try this one.
Carrie,
Yeah.
do you mind? I have a question about the lowest term.
Yes, please.
So with the 0.39,
Yeah.
39 obviously goes into 39 once.
Mm-hmm.
39 will go into 100 twice with something left over. So is that why you don't put it? Because it's obviously not a half inch. It's not half.
Right.
Right? Because it goes in twice to 100.
Yep.
So
But
if there's a remainder, is that what the lowest term means?
correct. Yeah. If there's a remainder on anything, then we can't use it. Right? Like that's why I kept going through. I was going through like, okay, well, 39 divided by 2. I thought it was just the quick one. But see how it's 19.5. Okay, well, that doesn't go in evenly. Right? So same idea as what you were saying. 100 divided by 39. There's a remainder. So it has to go in evenly to both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you can't find a number that will go into both of them evenly, then yes, that's when we're kind of deadlocked, right? Lowest terms. Did that kind of answer it?
Yes. No, that I just wasn't. I had that in my head, but I wasn't sure if I was right.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why sometimes when I look at these, I'm like, well, that's such a big number. And like I said, you wouldn't be able to read this on a tape measure. These types of numbers, think more like engineering and things like that, right? Where they get down to like absolute microscopic kind of measurements. But when we get going with, say, doing our calculations for construction, for a tape measure, we're not going to do this. And I'm going to show you other ways. It's not going to be as accurate as this, but it gives us something that we can read on a tape measure. But I'll get to that one. But let me try this one, because this one, it's still going to be a big fraction, but at least it's going to allow us to come down into a lowest terms on this one. So let's try 0.084. Okay, I should have known better when I saw these two odds at the end. This one should be a little easier. I'll give you guys a second head start, and then I'm going to take that one up at the same time. Because then I want to show you if I have, because all these numbers I'm giving you with zeros in front, so they are not like a full inch or anything like that, or a full whole number. So after this one, I'll give you a decimal that has a whole number in front. All right, so this one here, again, 1, 2, 3 spaces. So it's going to be 84 over 1, 2, 3 zeros, over the thousandths. Okay, so it is an even number and an even number. So there's got to be something that will go into these both evenly. I mean, you can start quick and easy. You always know you can divide an even number in half, right? So you can always go by 2. Or, let me try 4. I think that's the one. So I chose the number 4. Okay, again, I could have went with 2. It would have brought me down to 42 over and then brought it down again. I chose to go 4. So 84 divided by 4, I believe got us 21, I think it was. 21. So I did 84 divided by 4, so I have to do 1,000 divided by 4, which gives me 250. Now, even though that's an even number, the 21 is an odd number. And unless you guys know a number that evenly goes into both, that's our lowest term. Did that make sense?
Yep. I actually surprised myself by getting that one.
Yay! That's good. But isn't that kind of a cool feeling, though, when you doubt yourself and then you're like, oh, wait, I did that. I'll be honest, when that sort of thing happens to me too frequently, I start to think something's wrong because that came too easy. And then again, I doubt myself. But it just means, hey, we're learning. And it's starting to come natural. So that's our lowest term for that one, even though it's a big number. So now I'm going to show you one that has, a whole number in front. So if we think, sorry, I'm just moving the other computer out of the way. Let's try booby-dooby-doo. Say I had this number, 6.75. I mean, I think you guys already know what the 0.75 is going to be, but I'm going to show you again how we're going to do this. 6.75, or we can write it as, 6 75 100ths. Okay? But again, we can't go with this. And that's not something you can yell out to your journey person and have them read this on a tape. We've got to bring that down to lowest terms. Now, the 6 stays isolated. I just put it in its own little bubble, so it doesn't get touched through all of this. Now we just deal with the fraction. Okay? Can 75 go into 100? Or what can go into both of those that will work?
25.
Right? Think money. How many times does 25 go into 75?
3.
3 times. Right? You used 25 here, so we used 25 here. How many times does 25 go into 100? Yeah, oh, I loved that stereo sound right there. So, 7 over 100, or 0.75, is 3/4. Right? So now that we have that, we just bring both of these numbers back together. So 6 and 3/4. Does that make sense? How about if we went... Let's try this one. Again, I'm just randomly grabbing one. Let's try 3.14. Okay, that's the first one there. And I want you to try this one as well. We'll go with... let's go 9.08. Again, I haven't done these ones. I'm just pulling them out of my book. I'm going to pause and let you guys... Alright, so let's do this one here. Okay, so first things first, right? Essentially, we could also write this as 3 and 14 100ths. But that can go lower. But again, isolate the 3. It's in its own little room. It's not being bothered by this. Right? So 14 over 100 can come down a little lower, can't it? So I'm just going to split that in 2. 2 goes into 14 7 times, right? 7 times 2 is 14. I used 2, so I have to use 2 down here. 2 goes into 100, right? 50 times. Well, that's as low as that one will go. So bring these guys back together. 3 and 7 50ths is that final answer. Did anybody get something different for that one? All right. So this one here, right, 9.08. Again, it can be written 1, 2. Oh, we're in the hundreds. So 8 over 100. Again, just so it's clear, I'm going to isolate the 9 because we're not going to use it right now. So 8 over 100, let's bring that down to its lowest terms. Again, easiest is just to split it in half. 2 goes into 8. How many times? 4. 2 goes into 100, 50 times. Well, it can go even lower than that. Right? I can split it again. 2 goes into 4, 2 times. 2 goes into 50, 25 times. Yeah, you got it. Right? I don't think I can go any lower than that, because 2 doesn't go into 25. At least not evenly. So I think that one's the lowest for that. So bring these guys back together, and it's 9 and 2 25ths. Okay? And again, this is more like very precise engineering type of stuff. So this last one here, 408.2. Again, we can write it as 408 and 2/10, because there's only one number. Okay. Again, isolate that big guy, and it's the 2/10. Right, that can come down. 2 goes into itself 1 time. 2 goes into 10 5 times. And that's as low as that one will go. Bring these guys back together, and it's 408 and 1/5. Meaning, say I had a shape, something that I split into 5 parts. Okay? And just for the sake of argument, let's say it's this pie. There's 2, there's 4, and then for some reason I had a 5th. Okay, pretend those are all even for shits and giggles. I am an artist, just not today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So say I had something, a whole bunch of these, right? I've got 408 of these whole 5-slice pizzas. 408 whole ones. But I only have 1/5, right, of another one. Does that make sense? 408 whole of these 5-piece parts and 1/5 of it. Okay?